Mm. I mean, I like this. Yeah. It's a little too big, so that's a little.
7:30 in the morning.
Oh, so this nice long meeting tonight is fabulous, right?
Yeah,
now,
I'm
right?
like stressing in my feet. I'm like, all I keep thinking about is everything I'm supposed to be thinking about. It's all right.
Are you guys good?
Yeah.
Her school is not this.
Right.
Good.
I now call to order the November 20th, 2024 Public Work and Agenda Setting Board meeting of the Leechburg Area School District. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Roll call, please. Here.
Here. Mrs. Knight.
Here.
Mr. Levitt. Here. Mr. Lovelace.
Here.
Mr. Maxon.
Here.
Mr. Pauls.
Here.
Ms. Stewart. Mr. Thompson. Here.
An executive session was conducted prior to the public meeting at 5:30 in the Leechburg Superintendent's office to discuss legal issues, contracts, and personnel. Our student representative report, Connor Duff, and is it just Connor? Just you? Okay.
Good evening, everyone. So the first thing I have is this was in the past, but Sunday, September 10th, the cast of the Drama Club's fall play, Red Herring, joined a Zoom meeting with 3 of the original cast members, which was out in Pittsburgh. So I thought that was something special. You know, it was really nice. We got to ask for their advice and their perspective from their original play. And it was a really nice meeting. Today was the first math team meet. It was really hard today. They had some really mean questions. Tomorrow, November 21st, is Children's Grief Awareness Day. That's mostly ran by Junior High Student Council, but I still wanted to, get that out there so you guys knew. That's kind of to, as it says, spread awareness and let people know that they have support systems and resources that they're going through grieving. Their symbol is a blue butterfly. And it's just a nice thing. We have a tree and a table set up out there with different pamphlets and resources. We have pins, stickers, temporary tattoos, which those will probably go first. But yeah, something really nice. Powder Puff is this Friday, November 22nd. The gates open at 5:30 and the first game is at 6 o'clock. The NHS will be selling baked goods there and the Science Club will be selling hand warmers there as well. A $3 donation at the door is recommended and appreciated. Both the varsity girls and boys basketball officially started last Friday on November 15th. The tip-off tournaments are on Friday, November 29th at 3 o'clock and Saturday, November 30th at noon. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you.
Thank you, Connor. Do we have any public comment on agenda items this evening? No. Board committee reports. Mrs. Stewart is not here. The Lenape report, Mr. Lovelace.
We meet tomorrow, Lenape. The meeting starts at 6:30, but they're going to be serving dinner from culinary school. So if you want to come, turkey.
Thank you. The Armstrong County Tax Collection Committee report, there has been no meeting. PSBA member liaison report, Mr. Paulus.
Sure. In my weekly update from PSBA, there's a webinar for board members from the Office of Open Records Appeals Process and What You Should Know. There's an online webinar that you can look at through your portal. School Director Recognition Month is around the corner in January. And PSBA Professional Development Year of Learning is this upcoming year. There's a guide to any access to professional development on the website. That's all I have.
Thank you. Administrative reports, Dr. Vargo.
Good evening. So some things that we've been working on in the high school. So just today and over the past couple months, I've been attending some AI seminars offered by the IU. obviously this is something that's emerging not only just in education, but just all around us. So things that we've been talking about have been policy, the use in the classroom, some of the challenges that go there, but then some of the things that can leverage to possibly, be a groundbreaking technology for uses, for students and teachers. So it's been quite interesting. And as these things kind of round up, this will be something that we'll be presenting to staff and discussing these things, because you can't really hide from these things, and it could be an untapped potential, for our students and stakeholders here at the district. PDE just released a week or two ago the building level scores. So for those of you who may not remember what those things are, it's just a combination. It's on a 0 to a 100 scale, like a grade. So it is a combination of your test scores, PSSAs, keystones, the PVOS or growth. So based off of that, what your projections were compared to how students grew, graduation rate, attendance, those types of things. They also look at your population or the students at risk, which would look at socioeconomics and some other things, and then they kind of spit out a number for you. So for the high school, the number was an 87.6, the middle school was 73.5, and elementary was 67.2. I would like to note for the high school, 87.6 is, that's in the area of elite. So there are over 2,000 schools that get reported, or I should say buildings, out of the 500 some districts in the Commonwealth. That put us at a tie for 142, which is like the top 5 to 6% in the Commonwealth when it comes to building reporting. So we had outpaced notable schools like Hampton, Mars, places like that are perennial, in the top 100 top schools in the Commonwealth. So that's just an outstanding job with the teachers in the high school, but obviously middle school and elementary, leading up and getting kids prepped up for those things. So that's impressive and something that we should be really, really proud about there. Student trip, I was able to attend and take 8 students to a leadership conference that was put on by the U.S. Air Force Reserves. It was located down by the Air Force Reserve Base near the Pittsburgh Airport. It was a great experience, a great opportunity. There was some great messages about leadership and what that meant, and from retired Air Force pilots. They did take their opportunities to take barbs at the Navy, which was fun. We did get to look at a number of their pieces of equipment. They had a fighter jet there, cargo jets. You could tour and walk through those things. They had the equipment. They did a couple flybys with the F-16. It was great. It was a great experience. I will say on the ride back, I did get a little nervous because there was some controversy with the car bingo, but luckily cooler heads prevailed and nobody got too upset about that. But overall, it was a great experience. Parent-teacher conferences, we're in the midst of scheduling those things, and they'll be having those the afternoon, evening of the 25th, and then during the day on the 26th. I've been working with Dr. Keebler in regards to setting up for the branding guide, the possibility of doing that. So the first step with that would be a survey out to stakeholders, and it's 6 questions, and just those 6 questions in essence just ask not only will this branding guide look at trying to have some continuity with the color schemes in our logos, but also too, like, what are the values and what do we want this to stand for, and what do we want to strive for, is kind of where those things start at. So that's where those 6 questions are, and obviously there are opportunities for community members, students, and board members, administration to be a part of that, just so we kind of have a nice streamlined guide that people can use when we're creating T-shirts and kind of going out beyond the district here of how we represent ourselves with the uniforms and clothing and things like that. So that's something we continue to work on with Dr. Keebler and the rest of us here. Department meetings, been conducting those. Main focus have been obviously the program of studies, cleaning those things up, updating course descriptions, prerequisites, possible weighting, and what will get weighted and what will not, and the criteria for that. Our last professional development day, we're just about cleaned up with what we want the criteria for student of the month is. It was a great session in regards to staff identifying what we thought the biggest challenge was for our students and the type of positive actions and behaviors that we feel would help combat those types of things. So what we settled on was, in essence, self-management was where we felt students were lacking. And now we're in the final stages of saying, like, what are the look-fors to say of behaviors that would show self-management and kids doing the right thing and stepping in that right direction, which would be the criteria of how kids get nominated and obviously celebrated for Student of the Month. So those are the things that we've been working on here in the high school. And if I don't get to see everybody, I would wish everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving holiday over the break. Do you have any questions on any of the items covered here?
Dr. Barker, I'd just like to follow up on with that whole Student of the Month and stuff, and commend the junior high school teachers as well as administration for that piece. We learned the hard way 5-6 years ago at the elementary that if the buy-in's not there, if the creation of it's not there, it doesn't come through successful for the students. They redid it at the elementary, and they're really, he's taking the time to reinvent what was there on that so that the buy-in's there from the teachers and they're correcting what's happening, which will allow the sustainability of it and it'll be done with fidelity. So thank you for taking the time for you and the staff.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Barker.
Hi there. Just a few quick updates from the technology department. One of our major initiatives is upgrading PowerSchool, which is our student information system. So that's on track to be upgraded next month. We're going to expect a lot more features in the new system, but what's also nice is the look and feel won't change for the parents or for the teachers. It's just on the administrative end of things. We're continuing to be prompt when we're addressing Chromebook issues. So I did a tally, and we've had 126 requests for service for Chromebooks this year, and so we've turned all those around. Also getting better at electronic forms in the district. So from electronic universal visitor forms to sign in to crossing guards and things like that. And then the last thing I wanted to note were a couple software updates. So we completed an upgrade to our Microsoft licenses, so Microsoft 365 for the district. And then we've started installing Sentinel-1, which is a virus protection system that will cover our Windows servers and our Windows PCs. So that's going to be enhancing our cybersecurity. So those are the updates from technology.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Barker.
Thank you. Mr. Komar.
Hello, everyone. So this week we have picture retakes on Friday. I know really exciting stuff. We had our pictures in October, but anybody that needs a retake will be this Friday. Like the high school parent-teacher conferences, evening and afternoon of the 25th, and then during the day of the 26th. We've gone universal and working with Dr. Vargo and doing a scheduling system through a Calendly app. So we're doing that K-12, which again is nice. So parents that have kids in the high school or parents they have kids in the elementary, they're using the same system, and hopefully this is a system that works and everybody can be used to it. And we're not, using multiple systems. So I thought that was a positive. Winter choir concert on the 5th of December and the band concert on the 12th of December. Then we got a couple Santa shops going on. The PTA sponsored Santa shop, and then the high school ran Santa shop, ran by the learning department, or learning support. Wover Polar Express pre-K event, and I think those numbers are really good. We're close to 40 already, which is good, and they're still waiting for those to come in. So that's really really a good thing that our numbers are that high already. Signed up for that event, and then it's crazy to think our winter parties will already be occurring on the 20th of December, but I know how quick that time goes. For our professional learning communities, again, we meet Monday through Friday, different entities in the elementary from 8 to 8:30. We've used that time to work through issues, collaborate on things. We were working with Mr. Barker on some parent portal things through the report cards that went home, and just trying to make those as user friendly as possible and good for the parents and the teachers alike. So from special ed, we have 21 IEP meetings scheduled for November. We had 4 GIEP meetings, no 504s. For MTSS, we have 6 students currently in the MTSS process. Appreciate the work that everybody's done through that. We have several teachers that have jumped on our MTSS team this year. We have the social worker involved, the behavior specialist, and the school psychologist. So collectively, we have a case management system through MTSS. So we've made significant gains in that process that help support kids and give them what they need. So any questions for me? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Adam from Metz Environmental.
Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody made it here safe. It's a little crazy out there right now, so be careful driving home. So a couple updates we have. We just got our new awning. I'm working with Digital Graphics Design to get us a logo for that awning. They're going to give us 3 options to look at, and we're going to decide which one will look best on that new awning we got out there on the high school steps. Also, the tables for the cafeteria will be shipping on January 2nd. I talked to Joy from PEMCO. We're going to try, she's going to try to get those delivered before Christmas. That way, when the kids come back from break, we can have those tables for them in the cafeteria ready to go. So hopefully she can work something out. I'm supposed to hear from her on Friday to have an update. I also reached out. We've been having some electrical issues in the building. A lot of lights flickering, a lot of just power loss. Everything's good with our generator. Just had that inspected last week. Everything's good there. The issue is I believe our switch gear. So I reached out to Emerald Electric and talking to Dr. Keebler as well. I don't believe our switch gear has been serviced in quite some time to actually have somebody come and look at that. So I don't really have a record of when that was done last. So I believe that was put in 98. So it's been quite some time. We might be due for an update there. Also, one of our 15 mile per hour signs, the controller inside of it is down. We did get the one down here working. I'm going to, Jesse from Ironside Electrical is looking for a new controller for us for the sign down there. I would like to thank Tremco and PA Roofing for getting a quick roof repair before this massive rain we just got, and hopefully the snow this weekend. As of right now, we have no leaks on that 3rd floor walkway down to the elementary. So Dawn, Dave, and I, we should be putting the snowplow and the brush on the tractor tomorrow. For snow removal, I am scheduling our hood cleaning for the cafeteria. We also have had an exhaust fan repaired above the boys' restroom in the elementary. I also talked to Dan Stitt and Dr. Keebler. We are looking into updating our dust collector for the wood shop. It's really just out of date and old, and we really need an upgrade for that. Plus, it would help to change some of that ductwork around so he can actually remove the sawdust in the shop correctly. Also, I believe we will be having, are we still having McClure come out next month? Okay, so McClure's coming out next month to go over a maintenance plan with us to see, priority wise, what the school needs and everything. One of the things I brought up, and I talked to Dr. Keebler, the one thing that was not on that plan, and I'd like to add to it, is the auditorium. The auditorium is quite out of date with equipment and electric and lights and everything. So I'm hoping that they can add that to the plan and we can see if we could fit it in. Also, Builders Hardware will be here tomorrow to go over some of the door issues and just catch up on tightening those loose ends that we have there. Other than that, that's pretty much it for right now. Any questions? Cool. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Tess.
Hello, everybody. So busy in the kitchen this week cooking turkeys. I don't want to see a turkey again. But our Thanksgiving meal is tomorrow, so that's a very exciting day in the cafeteria. We try to dress up a little and have fun with the kids for Thanksgiving. And then soon thereafter, our Christmas meal, we're having December 18th as well. So another exciting day in the cafeteria for the kids. I have a new vending machine coming hopefully when we get back from this break, bring in some new snacks and options for the kids that I cannot get from my food purveyors. Just different options. I have one open position still, my cafe monitor. And other than that, our numbers are looking really good for lunch. We keep going up and up and up. Yeah, any questions?
Yeah, and Mrs. Dale, before she goes on, I just want to recognize the food department. The Greater Pittsburgh Food Bank has awarded Leesburg Area School District the Bronze Award for taking care of our community, and that throughout the summer. So I want to thank you and your ladies who are down there for the work you do. I congratulate you on that part of the award. So thank you for
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is the first year that I heard about this, so we're striving for gold next year.
Thank you.
Business report, Mr. Cessna.
And if everybody's okay, I'm gonna let them go up and have their, should be open.
Good evening again. Just a couple of items that I wanted to go over. First off, the short and sweet, easy topic that I have is I've been working on the annual financial report, which often you hear is called the AFR. It's due at the end of November, and currently I am on target to have that completed on time. So that's a good thing. We'll get that taken care of, and that'll really provide the information for the year end, for the school year 23-24, as far as financially where we stand, where we end up. And then that, of course, leads right into, believe it or not, the budget process for the 25-26 school year. I think I included a packet or a calendar packet in your packet. It's from PDE, and it kind of spells out the timeline, time frame for when certain provides target dates for completion of certain items for all school districts in the Commonwealth that they have to meet. The very first item that all districts will have to tackle is either preparing a proposed preliminary budget or a resolution to not increase taxes above the provided index. It's called Act 1 index. We have until the end of January to do that this year. If anybody has any questions why last year it was done so early, every year I think that there's a presidential election preliminary or primaries that kind of gets moved forward, it gets moved up. So last year was actually due January 4th, I believe, but we have till January 30th this year. So we'll be bringing that forward probably in January to pass, to pass the resolution. From there, it's kind of quiet until, as far as the budget goes, until May, when we'll have to the district will have to pass a preliminary proposed final budget. And we have to pay attention to kind of the dates when that's passed, because we have to have 30 days between passing the proposed final budget and actually passing the final budget, which will have to happen before the end of June. So we'll work with together and make sure our board meeting dates coincide with that, so that we can meet those deadlines. So with that, that's all I have. If anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer them. If not, you can shoot me an email or call me if you have any other further questions. Thanks.
Thank you. Mrs. Mondale.
Happy November. First graders have been busy learning many new things this fall and are very excited that the holiday season is starting to escalate. They've been reading informational texts on animals and are now preparing to write a research project, which is music to my soul. Start them early. They have moved on from addition to practicing subtraction strategies, and they have a fun interactive hallway featuring Buddy the Elf. So if you have a minute, stop down along the first grade hallway. During the last few weeks of October, second graders decorated the hallways with Frankensteins and long-legged spiders. Their Frankenstein activity focused on writings about things that make us cranky. And the vocabulary spiders focused on using sentences with 8 vocabulary words. Now they are moving on to a sea of twirly whirly gumdrops for the Christmas season. So stop and see that display. Second grade has also been acting out their drama story, The Puzzle, and they've really enjoyed putting on their show and moving around the classrooms and interacting with the props. There are lots of pictures of the actors and actresses on the David Leach Elementary Facebook page. Fourth grade learned all about the election process and participated in a vote on November 5th, and all received an I voted sticker. In second through fifth grade, the children are all engaged in a program called Orgometria, which is learning about geometry and using name shows, or like the name shows, this program combines origami with geometry and making it into fun, academic, meaningful lessons. And they're weekly hands-on lessons that the students are introduced to and practice identifying and describing key geometric concepts. There are lots of projects posted across all 4 grade levels on display outside the 3rd grade classrooms. Student council in the elementary had their elections. Candidates gave speeches and then participated in a ballot voting process, which is great to get them involved early in civic duty. The next PBIS school-wide reward is board game day, and the kids are very excited about that. The food drive, the annual canned food drive, just wrapped up. Today was the drop-off to the Leechburg Food Bank. In the elementary, they collected a grand total of 2,929 items, which is amazing. 6th grade art students are learning how to marbleize paper, and they're going to use their handmade papers to create their own sketchbooks and learn the art of Japanese bookbinding. 7th grade geography students are creating dioramas using African climate zones. The 8th grade students of the month, which are sponsored by the Leechburg Gilpin Lions Club, proudly announced that Grayson Stewart was September's awardee, and October's awardee is Brooke Cuffia. And the cafe, which is the joy of everyone's life, is open on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And this Friday, they are celebrating Thanksgiving. They have made cups that look like turkeys and are selling stuffing-flavored popcorn. And the buzz in the hall is that everyone is excited to try it. Does anybody have any questions for me? Okay, thank you, and have a very happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
The next few items are personnel discussion items. Does anybody have any questions or discussion on 7.1, which is the athletic supplementals, 7.2, the custodian substitute, 7.3, the new hire for the athletic supplemental, which this is the softball coach, or the resignation of employee number 936? Any discussion on any of that? No. Budget and finance, we have budget transfers to approve, as well as the financial reports. Any questions on those? The Hubert quote for the cafeteria reach-in freezer. There were 3 quotes for this reach-in freezer in the cafeteria, and Hubert was the lowest quote. Are there any questions or discussion on that?
They are basically the same.
It was all kind of-
They looked like it.
Yeah, it was the same model and everything.
The setup was like triple on the one.
Yeah.
All right.
The janitor supply incorporated quote for the cafeteria walk-behind scrubber. Any discussion on that? The 2024 Rashini Affordable Care Act employer reporting proposal. Anything? 3D printer. Any questions on that? The Kiski Area Soccer League Youth Soccer at Veterans Field Saturdays from 9 to 1 during April and May. That's a use of facilities request from an outside. Any discussion? And then we have several field trip requests. Do you want me to read through those? Does everybody want to look at those and tell me if there's anything they want to talk about? What would you prefer? Do I need to read through them all, Gary? Okay. If there's no, is everybody okay if we don't read them all? Okay. Fundraising requests. That's items 12.1 through 12.4. Spanish Club, Science Club. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Candy Bar Sale. Interact Club. Junior High Student Council. Any questions or discussion on those? And then gifts, grants, and donations, item 13.1, we have the Secret Santa donation for Christmas. We'll have that again. How many years have we received that?
It's like year 4, I
Yeah.
believe, and this time, pleased to announce every year for the last 4 years, has donated $10,000 to raise it to 15. Talking with the high school administration, Dr. Margo, we're going to do something for the junior high and high school kids as well. Haven't decided what it is, obviously, a toy or something that's not there, so we're looking at maybe doing some gift cards and an extra breakfast or something to celebrate the season with them with the extra money that was given to us. So we'll be meeting for that as well. I want to thank him once again for his generosity to our students here at Lynchburg.
Very grateful for that. Professional development requests, Mr. Durancheck, the Whitfield Sportsmanship Summit, November 13th. This is a retroactive. The Digital Media Arts Consortium, Tanya Shabandi, also a retroactive. Ms. Cericio, Science Olympiad training, also retroactive. These were just a few days ago. And upcoming is Palomora, the DQN. Oh no, this is retroactive today. Yeah, retroactive approval as well. Any discussion on those? Yeah. Yeah. Do we have any public comment on non-agenda items?
Superintendent.
I always do that. Superintendent report.
Thank you.
First off, just want to congratulate our whole staff on those scores at the building levels on that as they bump back and forth. But as Dr. Vargas said, that's a tremendous honor for our high school staff to have a score like that of what they're doing. So it's exciting to see that. As Mr. Magic said, McClure will be here on the 3rd. Part of the facilities needs that we have, we put into the grant that I wrote that the state decided not to give a single school in Indiana or Armstrong County any money for, which still frustrates me a little bit. But we do have some needs that we need to discuss with that. So he will be here to go over part of what the plan. They worked with us back in March and April when we were putting that together, but that way we're all on the same page of what the needs are, and we can look at how we're financed or what kind of plan we're going to put together for that. First off, just a STEB update. Yesterday we met with representatives of Westmoreland and Armstrong County's assessment offices, as well as Ben Hanft, who is the Director of Finance at PDE. Unfortunately, nobody from STEB accepted our offer to talk during those meetings. So after about 45 minutes, we realized we're looking at market values, assessed values, ratios going on with that. PDE looked at all of our options that are given to us through the STEB formulas and realized it really doesn't help us that much on trying to fix it up. So we went back to square one of we need to understand what STEB's doing when they get those numbers, what's happening. So today I drafted an email, included everybody on that, to Renee Reynolds at STEB. If I don't hear back, she had not responded to an email October 31st or the 18th and 19th of this month, which was this week, trying to get into that meeting with that. I am going to have our district solicitor send a letter to STEB. I think we need to just figure out, I want everybody in one room so we're not pointing fingers. Let's dig into the data. Let's look at what's happening. How is it being manipulated by formulas so we know what's going on? We still don't know, is it the reasoning of the old assessments? We even talked if they did reassessments, there would still be issues because the formulas are calculating them differently. I just need to know what's going on with it and who do we work with to try to get a resolution. I can say, looking at some of the numbers for this year and the market values on there, I don't see, and I'm being optimistic about it, I don't see any high raises of anything like we had last year on there. So I'm hoping that we can keep no raise in those taxes with that. We'll be able to know more once that opens up. We get the numbers into there, and we'll have some numbers that are genuine numbers in January of what that looks like. So we've continued to meet with them. I will continue with that. Another update that ties right in with STEB is Act 55 of 2024, which was the tax equity supplement. So part of our 24-25 state budget that our governor and our legislation approved put a equity supplemental into the budget. So they upped a little bit of special ed, they upped a little bit of our basic ed funds, but they did put a number in for school districts that are showing unfair funding or unfair taxation, which is what we've been talking about. And miraculously, when we talked about this a year ago, or not quite a year ago, February, March, when we were looking at what that number was, we had estimated about 64,000. We had talked about a rebate. It didn't work out what we were trying to do. Well, the fortunate part of that is the state put $58,283 into our budget this year that can't be spent till next year, but it's to mitigate or prevent millage increases in your district. So they basically looked at what we were seeing and talking about, and it was almost to a T, the percentage of the amount of money that we saw was disproportionate on that. So that has to be a resolution to pass that. So in January, we do our Act 1 resolution, we will be doing an Act 55 resolution, and I will present more about that, of what that looks like. But we will be putting that in. It's part of the Ready to Learn block grant, and we will have to justify you can put it to pay down tax loss, so we could actually use it to lower our budget due to West Leechburg and ATI appealing that. We can do some other things with it. There's 4 stipulations you can use. My recommendation is going to be use it for mitigating the tax increase on part of our population with that. So I'll be presenting that to the whole board on that as we get that updated. They just opened it up last week that we can even get in and start looking at it with it. But the resolution will have to be approved by the board before we can submit the grant through Ready to Learn. But it is money set aside just for that. Our comp plan was finally approved 2 weeks ago. So now that that's done, we can get back to our strategic plan. There were a couple areas that we had members that were marked as chosen by certain people that we had to correct on there, and it takes 6 weeks. They open it up for 6 weeks at a time instead of fixing it and being done. With that being done, what I do want to work on is our facility part of that plan. So when we work with McClure next month and we put a plan together with that, that has to be a part of our strategic plan. So my goal is once we talk about that, we have a chance to talk to the board, discuss a plan, we can then put that facilities piece into our strategic plan, and it'll all wrap up together of what the plan looks like for the next 3 to 5 years. So it will look good to wrap that up. It's been a long process. I do apologize to the community, to the board on that. I'm hopeful as we go through that next step, starting from the beginning at square one together with that and bringing the right people in, doing the surveys, it'll be much smoother on that completion. During our last in-service, we did some trauma-informed training, and they worked on curriculum. As Dr. Vargas said, the big piece we're looking at is our course of studies in the junior high and high school of how we better preparing our kids. As we found out, we were looking at that switch downstairs, and I made a couple phone calls. The electrical union in Pittsburgh is starting to do a mentorship program on Thursday nights. So we are going to gather some more information with that and try getting some of our kids. But the big complaint we've heard from them is that kids weren't ready for the mathematical part. So when they go in, they take the assessments to get into the union, they weren't passing that. So I talked with Mr. Southern and really looking at, can we find 5 to 8 kids that are really truly interested in that? We can then make a course of study that they're ready to pass something like that, and we get them into a career. As soon as they leave here, they jump in as a journey or apprentice and become a journeyman through that. So those are the new pieces that Dr. Vargo is looking at as we continue to go through, but that'll be part of those in-service days. Today we sent out a school messenger test. I just wanted to make sure using the voice call on that with it. Everybody had updated numbers in there. They can go on and change that, but we did send an email and a voice call to the community today just to update that. And last but not least, I will put some type of a discussion for the board calendar on that. Just do we have a feel? Are we good with a 1 month or 1 meeting a month calendar moving forward, except for probably June and August, where we would be hiring and starting the school year, as well as wrapping up our budget on the other year? Wanted to open that up for discussion, and I could put a calendar together of what that looks like so that you guys can have some input on it before our next meeting when we have to set that calendar for next year.
I think that's good, doing 1 meeting a month.
Yeah, my only question was when it comes to budget, doing the budget.
Yeah.
The meeting, you know what I mean? If we're going to need more.
We can still
time
do,
for
we do
that.
have our finance
Because I
committee.
know you
too.
said we have 2, but I know how long budgeting meetings take and how long process, how many months that is. So that's why I was wondering prior to that, do we need any?
Yeah, and if we
additional-
need, we can add them, we'll just need to know that we publish it. It needs to be 48 hours in advance on that, and we can get it in. So if we need to add one in May to make sure there's room
Right.
before or something.
That's what,
we can
that's
do
what
it.
I was
Yep.
meaning, like,
No,
yeah.
100%.
Could we also, I don't know if this is possible, but if we have the finance committee dates or committee dates and I don't know if you have planned for those for next year or if we're going to
I
abandon that
think they
completely,
go
but
through June. The
Okay.
ones are on, and I apologize if some of those went on. Our next one, we bumped it to the 3rd. We have a finance, we have we bumped a couple of them around of what was going on with it. I think as we start moving through that, we'll be able to finalize that, but we can meet those up so they meet.
well, I was going to say,
Um,
or if we didn't want to add more meetings, but we found we wanted to,
Have a
work
committee
through some
meeting,
things
yes.
like with the budget, we could, and
The board could all be at the committee meeting is everybody's
just
aware.
discuss.
The committee has to run it, but if other board members are there,
Everybody's
there
welcome.
can both be input, that's correct.
So yeah, no, we'll definitely keep in communication as we get into March, April, and May, so that Mr. Cessna and everybody's informed on what we're doing. Any questions on any of my updates?
I had just two.
Sure.
If anybody had any. Just to clarify, that ready to learn money, that 58,000, our objective would be to use that money to directly benefit the residents of West Leechburg.
It would be because since there was not an increase in Armstrong County,
Mhm.
the actual language in there is to mitigate the millage increase.
And of the 4 options, it appears we could do that at this point.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
that's,
that's going to be my recommendation, just talking with Ben at the state level as we went through all these processes of how do we balance this out. I think that was the part that would help us as we try to get a solution. I'm hopeful to have a solution before then, but it will help. The money cannot be spent until next school year. So it's so bizarre. Once again, PDE puts this money into this year's budget. They put everything in, but we have to sit on it, or they're going to sit on it. They've even told us if they're releasing it till after that it has to be part of the 25-26 budget as how we use it.
So as long as there's no increase in Armstrong County to Gilpin and Leechburg,
Yes.
it's just strictly to West Leechburg.
Yeah.
But if
and
there
it-
is, then it'll be,
then we can balance it. Yeah.
yeah.
or
We'll
because
look.
there's been like unfair or harm in the past.
We'll
Would
have
that be it?
options of
I
what we look
mean,
at.
we can continue to have community members of Leechburg and Gilpin come in and speak if they have an increase. So just
Yeah.
to make it balance
Yeah.
and not be, you know what I mean?
Yep. No, we'll make that presentation and I'll make my recommendation as we get there.
And then the other thing was there was the county commissioners meeting and Ben from
Yeah, so we
PDE.
met with Westmoreland County Commissioners. We went to the meeting, met with the commissioners there, met with Armstrong County Commissioners on that part, met with Ben, Greg, and Ashley met 2 weeks ago with him, and then me and Greg followed up the following day when we put some numbers in to look at what the step formulas will give us, what they can do with that.
And then
which
we
is
met
right up
again this past
yesterday.
yesterday.
Yeah.
But then today, I was just going to say, we attempted to
Tried to
attend
get
the,
on the STEB meeting and the link would not.
The
no
public
one
STEB
ever elected to let us into the meeting.
How many commissioners and from,
so
who?
that's STEB, it's a board.
STEB was
No, I
today.
said the commissioners,
The
not the
commissioners, it was Shay and Fabian and Aaron Poole up at Armstrong. And then I did meet with all of the commissioners, Westmoreland County, along with the assessment chief assessor, deputy chief assessor, and their solicitor at that time. I went out and met with all of them in the end of October, or mid-October, we were out there. So I think we're getting everybody to the table. I think the pointing is nowhere near as direct as what it was. I think everybody's looking to try to find a solution. We just need all the players at the table at the same time so that they can't have questions on that.
But
So
it
I'm
was
hopeful that'll change.
frustrating that we couldn't get into the
Yes.
public STEB meeting today. That was my whole point.
It was interesting that they didn't
Yeah.
respond to us and they didn't let us into the meeting. So I'll follow up with that.
A question I meant to ask earlier. We're not having any issues with the leaking of the gym ceiling onto the floor during.
We have not had any
anymore,
up to this
correct?
point. No, they have been.
Okay, because I know like during the basketball games, how they have to go out and dry all
Yeah.
the time, and we're getting into season now. And I know they have gym class in there, so I would think we would be aware of that. to
Yeah,
this,
I haven't
you know.
had any reports to me, and we did check on that. Now, when we were out dealing with the other roofs, there was a section in the back of the gym that was holding like a 1.5 foot puddle.
Mhm.
So they were up working on that when they did this and came in on there. So I do think that was rectified on there.
Okay.
Now, obviously, it may change if water gets somewhere that freezes. But
Right.
talking with them, it needs to be remediated or have a remedy fixed on it. I mean, it can't be ongoing like it was in the
Yeah,
past.
definitely. You'll end
It
up
was
with,
crazy.
yeah, they'll end up with that, you know,
And someone's gonna
injuries
get hurt or it's
yeah,
gonna ruin our floor.
Absolutely.
It's-
Well, both.
Yeah, so
Right.
no, there hasn't been any recently. Hopefully we'll keep our fingers crossed that as it starts freezing up there, nothing opens up, but we'll keep our eye on it. And like I said, we'll have them out here repairing it if they do.
Okay, thank you.
No public comment on. Need a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 6:52. We'll now call to order the Wednesday, November 20th, 2024 regular board meeting of the Leechburg Area School District at 6:52. Can we stand for the pledge, followed by a moment of silence?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Roll call, please. Here.
Dunbar. Here. Mrs. Knight.
Here.
Mr. Love. Here. Mr. Love.
Here.
Mr. Maxon.
Here.
Pauls.
Here.
Ms. Stewart. Mr. Thompson. Here.
No public comment. We need a motion to approve the meeting minutes for October 2024, please.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. A motion is needed to approve the following 2024-25 athletic supplementals as submitted, pending successful completion of all required paperwork and clearances. Gregory Matvico, the boys' 8th grade basketball coach, volunteer.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. A motion is needed to hire Jenny Prebish as custodial substitute at a rate of $11 an hour pending receipt of all required paperwork.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. A motion is needed to hire the following athletic supplemental position for the 2024-2025 school year pending successful completion of all required clearances and paperwork. Chris Fabic, varsity softball head coach.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. A motion is needed to accept the resignation of employee number 936 effective January 3rd, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. A motion is needed to approve the budget transfers for the months of October and November 2024 as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. A motion is needed to acknowledge receipt of the following financial reports and to ratify and approve the expenditures expressly set forth therein. The capital reserve expenditures, the capital reserve revenue, the construction fund expenditures, the construction fund revenue, the food service expenditures, the food service revenue, general fund expenditure, general fund revenue, student activity fund monthly report, the cash receipts list, the treasurer's report, and the check detail reports. Do we have a motion?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. A motion is needed to approve the quote with Hubert for a new cafeteria reach-in freezer.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. A motion is needed to approve the quote with Janitors Supply Incorporated for a new cafeteria walk-behind scrubber.
So, second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. A motion is needed to approve the 2024 Rashini Affordable Care Act employer reporting proposal as submitted.
So moved. Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed? Motion carries. A motion is needed to approve the disposal of the broken 3D printer.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Just to add to that, that was one of the big, like, expensive ones they put in. We started looking at the budget into next year. This new $1,000 free for them to see if it's effective. You get way more use out of them than what they're doing. I think they paid $8,000 for the one that's up there. So we're gonna look to get 3 or 4 at half the price of one big one moving forward with that. So we don't get stuck in this bind again.
Any other discussion? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. A motion is needed to approve the use of facilities requests 10.1 as submitted.
So moved.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. A motion is needed to combine and approve field trip requests 11.1 through 11.10 as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for combining those two. A motion is needed to combine and approve fundraising requests 12.1 through 12.4 as submitted.
So moved.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Motion is needed to accept the donation of $15,000 from the Secret Santa as submitted.
So moved.
So moved. Thank you. I would not do it.
Discussion? Go ahead.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much to our Secret Santa. We appreciate this. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Four. So this is the fourth Christmas that he's
Motion carries.
on top of all the other donations he's put in as well. See, probably $100,000 he's done in this one.
A motion is needed to combine and approve professional development requests 14.1 through 14.4 as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have no public comment on non-agenda items this evening. The combined reorganization and public work session and the regular board meeting will be held in the Leechburg High School Library on Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024 at 6 p.m. Can we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 7 o'clock. Was it 8 minutes? Yeah.
Now Andrew, go home. You got some studying to do. That's what I said, he has some studying to do. I was home long enough to go to the bathroom real quick and get here, so yeah. Looking at,